to in 2021. What were we doing? So many of us were consumers. We were at the mercy of the marketing influencers. We saw something, it had millions of views, and we went, oh my gosh, I have to try it. I don't know about you, but I've definitely, even as a beauty professional, have fallen victim to that. At least it piques my curiosity so much that I have to try it so I can at least tell you if it's the real deal or not, right? So I get it. I understand the attraction in that. In addition, what we did in our 20s sometimes has this marinating effect, meaning hyperpigmentation doesn't just come up overnight. Typically, it is marinating on our skin for a long time, which means what we did in the past can kind of catch up with us, and now we're working to make changes, make corrections in the future. But preventing isn't usually as sexy as correcting, right? As solving a problem. So we get hyper focused on correcting. And I would like to just share this idea that you can do both at the same time. Today, it's really about that key thing that I think we're going to be all feeling in 2024, which was we did all this stuff to our skin. We really got excited about so many different actives and trying so many different things that we overloved our skin. That's my nice way of putting it. We overloved our skin. And so then what happens is sometimes your skin becomes sensitized between trying too many products, maybe using too many products that maybe aren't ideal for your skin. Just because they were ideal for your friend Karen doesn't mean they're going to be ideal for you. Or perhaps you were product hopping, meaning you were using one product and it wasn't working, you were trying another one. There are so many different things that take a toll on your skin in conjunction with just those normal hormonal changes. Try saying that 3 times in a row. Normal hormonal changes. That is why sometimes with age, our neck will get more sensitive. That is usually hormonally induced, right? We may start to see signs of aging that are also hormonally driven, those age spots. But hyperpigmentation can be brought on by several different factors, including going out in the sun unprotected, especially over a longer period of time, and it catches up with you. But this is the thing. When it's really important to know this, by the way, really important. So don't take this for granted, because I think that there's kind of this misnomer that if we do all of these things, right? If we just exfoliate enough, if we do take retinol enough, all these things, if we just do X enough, then our skin will be great and we won't have to do anything else. And I think that's a huge misconception or misnomer in the beauty world. In fact, unless you're doing something where you have permanent results with laser, which by the way, lots of laser results are not permanent, but talk to your doctor about that because there's so many different laser treatments. But if you're getting a certain treatment and it's not permanent like surgery, it's highly likely that it's going to come back. So you're gonna need to keep doing things to maintain these results. But I think as a consequence of all those things that we did, all of those ways that we overloved our skin, we had good intentions, but now it's taken a toll on our skin. If that's you, that means your skin has maybe become too sensitized, it's too sensitive. If anything you put on your skin burns or stings, your barrier is compromised, okay? That's the biggest example I'm gonna give you. Another one, maybe you can't tolerate things that you used to tolerate. Maybe you're like, I used to put this on and my skin used to feel fine, and now it bothers me. That may be also a sign. Also, maybe you're starting to see the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. Maybe they're more accentuated, but it's not just from the natural aging. It's because your skin is so dry and you just can't get it under control. You can't get it together. And when it becomes more dry, it becomes more sensitive. Maybe you're more prone to breakouts because your skin is compromised. You get it. It's like a tumbleweed of sorts, like a tumbleweed. Once one thing happens, another thing happens, another thing happens. And then you start using all these products to try to compensate. Well, maybe if I use this, it'll help with this, and this will help with this, and this will help with this. I'm here to say, put on the brakes, slow down, stop, take a moment, do this. We're going to breathe in together. Okay. And now we're back at 1. Okay. We're back at 1. We just need to work on repairing our barrier, our skin barrier. And it's way easier than you think, but you gotta put the brakes. You gotta pump the brakes a little bit for this one, okay? because all of those things that you're using, all those actives, all of those strong ingredients, we need to slow down on it if you're trying to repair your skin barrier. Now, suppose you're like, well, my skin is kind of feeling fine. Yeah, it's a little dry, it's a little this or that. It's starting to become a little sensitive, but I can still tolerate my retinol. Say you're somewhere in between. Right now is a really good time to sort of re-examine the full recipe of what you're using. Maybe you tone down, take things down a notch, right? It's like when I want to eat a huge slice of pie. Maybe it's in my best interest to eat a small piece of pie, and I still can get the benefits and the flavor of the pie and the experience, but maybe I don't need the huge piece of pie, you know what I mean? Unless it's at Thanksgiving. Look, I'm just trying to get a point across is that you don't have to throw out your whole routine, but there's modifications that you can make to make it work better for you. That's all I'm saying. So let me give you a few examples of how you might be able to do that. You want to always make sure you start with a really good moisturizer, regardless of what your routine is, okay? Doesn't matter what it is. And especially if you're trying to repair your skin, you're going to stay away from those, clarifying type of treatments. You're going to stay away from clarifying cleansers. You're going to move towards those calming cleansers, things that are gentle on your skin. You're not going to over cleanse your skin. You're not going to over strip your skin. You're not going to over exfoliate. Keep it to a couple times a week. If your skin's feeling great with that, stick with that. But don't always try to up the ante when it comes to exfoliation. If your skin is fine with whatever retinol product you're using, that's great. If it's a little bit sensitive, maybe we're going to back off. We're either going to use that retinol product every other night, because you still need to use it on a consistent basis for you to have the progressive effect on the skin. Or maybe you're going to switch to a cream-based retinol, which is really ideal after 40, especially when you start to lose that moisture, so that retinol or retinol is not going to be making your skin more sensitive. I always say that you can't benefit from something you can't tolerate. There you go. That's it in a nutshell. You can't benefit from something you can't tolerate. So slow it down a little bit if you need to. And remember, those active ingredients, they're not going anywhere, okay? You can just kind of put them to the side and just use them a little bit less frequently. The idea is to be able to get your skin in a really good, healthy place, and then make sure you're integrating in a healthy way your exfoliating products. You're using your night creams, again, in a way that is synergistic to your whole routine, that feels good. If it's not making your skin feel good, if it's making it feel really dry and tight, and you're under the impression that that is actually a good feeling to experience when you, for instance, use a cleanser, I'm here to tell you, it is actually stripping your skin, and that's why it feels that way. So you may have been misled, and I totally understand, because you're like, you cleaned something else, right? And you want it to feel squeaky clean. But when it comes to your skin, it's really a different story. Your skin is there to protect you, right? It's the largest organ. It's there to protect you. The last thing that we want to do is to compromise that barrier so that things get in that we don't want to get in, and things get out that we don't want to get out, i.e. water loss. And then you become more at risk of something called transepidural water loss. So we basically want to preserve, retain the moisture we have, and that is our goal. So again, the best way we can do that is to start out with a good moisturizer. Now, even if you don't have a serum or an oil to use after it, if you have a really good moisturizer, sometimes that may just do the trick. And to be honest with you, there's really not a solid reason that you need a serum and an oil after your moisturizer if you have a really good one, other than the fact that you feel like you are getting additional benefits from your serum. So you feel like there's an additional move that you want to make, right? That serum is very pointed. It's like, this serum does this for me, right? This is a vitamin C serum. This is the way I get my vitamin C serum, so that's why I use it. That's a good reason to use that serum, okay? If you feel like whatever you have in your moisturizer is just not enough, you need that oil after it. I get it. When our skin is flaky and dry and we just can't feel like our skin is hydrated enough, then that is a good move, applying an oil after it. And furthermore, that oil can work as that occlusive agent to help seal even more moisture in. But my point is that a good moisturizer should have both humectants, those things that a lot of the serums have, which, you know, it's the aloe, the hyaluronic acid, the glycerin, things like that, as well as those oils, those nourishing butters, whatever it is. We love to use olive oil in our formulation. We get it from one source, one region, so we know where it's coming from. It's cold pressed, it's organic. It's wonderful for the skin. Maybe you are a fan of shea butter. Maybe you love coconut oil and you're not acne prone. Maybe you want to go with a jojoba oil because you know that it doesn't break you out. Whatever oils that you want to look for inside of your formulation, that's completely up to you. But the point is you want them to have humectants, you want them to have oils inside of the moisturizer so that you're getting a complete barrier, skin barrier protection with your moisturizer. So a few moisturizers that I personally really like, it's a little show and tell moment. I used the Pillow Talk Derm line when it first came out. This is actually empty because I used it all. And honestly, it's one of the best moisturizers I've ever used because, you know, I feel like I'm kind of like on the fence with breakout prone. I'm like not super breakout prone, but I have to be careful with ingredients. I can't just use anything on my skin. So I'm always, even if it's from a big name, brand, doctor, dermatologist, I'm always like a little careful, feeling a little trepidation when I'm using it. But I used it. I loved it. I kept using it. I used it all. I thought it was a great product. And I love the fact that it's a moisturizer that also contains vitamin C. So while I was using this, I didn't have to use a vitamin C serum. So that was lovely as well. So can't say enough about this product. Really love it. Used it all. The texture is really nice. It's in between kind of a serum and a lotion. I feel like it's in between. So if you like that really thick, rich feel, this is definitely not it. But if you just want sort of that light feeling moisturizer, this is really great, and it does have the right ingredients in it to help seal in the moisture. Okay, another line that I really love, like I've been using this line for, I want to say maybe 12, 13 years. When I used to work at a spa, this is the only line that we used. I kept using it throughout my career at various pieces in my spa. So I'm very familiar with the line. I've made a couple of videos using this brand, and I'm sure I will in the future. But they just came out, which is Murad, by the way. Murad just came out with a cellular hydration line. They have a serum and they have a cream, and so I'm giving you another example of a product that would be ideal for you to help repair your skin barrier, meaning you need all of those components, all of those agents, right? Those humectants and those butters or oils to help really lock in your moisture. And I always tend to go back to brands that I really trust. That's just me personally. That's how I operate. Even though I try lots and lots of brands, this isn't a sponsored video. I'm just kind of telling you about brands that I've used in the past that have worked, in hopes that it helps you, and to also to give you some choices as well. This is one that we carry in our line. It's one of our best sellers. It is called Whipped Olive Face Butter, and it is in between, I was going to say in between a lotion and a heavier moisturizer. It feels rich. It's much richer than, say, this experience. Feels like more of a lightweight moisturizer. So it feels richer on the skin. I should just put some on my hands so you can see. But it doesn't feel heavy on the skin. So it feels more like a moisturizer instead of a lotion. But when you apply it, it has a medium to sort of a medium feel. Medium to heavier moisturizing feel. But whenever it dries really nice, really soft, really silky. So it doesn't feel heavy. Hopefully I've described that well. Because that's kind of the thing, is we get used to certain types of feelings that aren't necessarily equivalent to the standard of hydration that you're receiving. meaning you can get a lotion and it might not feel very heavy, but it might hydrate your skin wonderfully. But we all get really attached to the way products feel, the way they smell. This one's fragrance free. And so I think that if that's something that you're attached to, I totally get it. And that's why I like to tell you the differences in the way some of these products feel on the skin. Now, there are so many other moisturizers that you can get over the counter. And honestly, if I used any of them right now on myself, I would recommend them to you. But these days, you definitely can find so many different brands at whatever your budget is, whatever you're comfortable with. For me, I view a moisturizer as more than just like that cheap thing. I don't view it as, you know, I'm gonna spend less on my moisturizer because I wanna spend more on my actives necessarily, even though actives just generally tend to be more expensive. I tend to invest a lot into my moisturizer because I know that it is so important, especially for skin after 40, for all the reasons that we've talked about today. I don't think that you should skimp out on that. I think if anything, you can spend a little bit less on your cleanser because there are so many wonderful cleansers out there these days that are inexpensive. I know Dr. Idris had recommended one a long time ago. It's called Aveeno Calm and Restore. It's one of many cleansers that I have here in my home, and it is a wonderful calming cleanser. Today I recommended it to a client. It was only like $9, so it felt really good to be able to recommend a great cleanser that was soft and gentle to someone that was so affordable. And while you can still find very affordable moisturizers out there, I do encourage you to put a little bit, to invest a little bit more, I should say, into the idea of a good moisturizer and think of it more equivalently to maybe something else that you would buy, like a good exfoliator, because I think that it is more important. I will say it's more important than even that exfoliator that you're using, because if you're not using a good moisturizer and your skin is getting compromised, then you're not even going to be able to use all of these other sexy products that we love to talk about, like your fancy exfoliators and serums and retinols and things like that. So just a little bit of food for thought today. I hope this information was helpful. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and remember to set that notification bell. The more you know, the more you glow. Ciao for now.